So you want to get into some form of video. You don't know what it is yet. You maybe want to get your feet a little bit wet, but you don't want to drop a ton of money, or maybe you don't have a huge budget to spend. In this video, I'm going to talk about the best Sony setup that you can get for video for around $1,000 US. The equipment I'm going to talk about is going to be the basics for allowing you to shoot YouTube videos, if you want to vlog, if you want to shoot events, weddings, that kind of thing. This kit will allow you to shoot all of that at a real basic level. All the links are going to be down below. I'm going to talk about all the equipment and why I selected that piece of equipment. Now, first things first, the most important thing that you're obviously gonna need is a camera. So what I've picked is actually the Sony a6000. And yes, you might be thinking that's a little bit of an older camera. And it is, it came out in 2014, so it's close to 5 years old. But comparatively to what's out there in the market, for the cost you can now get this camera for, it blows everything else away. It's the best bang for your buck. So this camera will allow you to do obviously 1080p video, 60 frames per second slow motion. If you wanna slow it down, you wanna get that B-roll, it'll allow you to do that. The autofocus system is Sony's old generation one, but it still works really, really good. And then of course you have access to all the E-mount lenses that are out there, whether you want to use a lens that's for an a6400, an APS-C camera, a full frame camera, even a cinema camera like the FS7, FS5. You can use all the lenses between all those different cameras and they all work. That's a nice thing about Sony. Now this camera that I actually linked below comes with a few extras as well. It comes with 2 memory cards, 2 third-party batteries, a third-party battery charger, some cheap filters, and what looks like a cheap case too. It does also come with some cleaning supplies as well, like a lens pen and some cloths, which are good to have. They don't look like they're gonna be great, but I guess they're a freebie. Now the kit that I've selected actually comes with a kit lens, this little guy here. This is the 1650 made by Sony. I always recommend for people just getting started in photo and video to get the lens, or get the camera that comes with the kit lens, because it's about $100 more than if you didn't want this. And if you were to buy this on its own, it's about $300. So you're actually saving money by buying this. So this is a variable aperture lens, which means the aperture changes as you zoom in. It's gonna be okay for if you're shooting outside. If you shoot inside, you might have a few issues with it. It might be a bit too dark, but for outside, it's gonna work really good. It's a power zoom, meaning there's a little switch on the side here, and when you push this switch one way or the other, it zooms in and zooms out, and that's on the lens. That's a really nice feature. It's obviously a Sony native lens, so the autofocus is gonna be second to none. It's gonna be the best that you can potentially get because it's a Sony lens. It's also really, really small. And because it's a 16 to 50, it gives you a really nice wide range of focal lengths. If you wanna use 16, which is technically 24 because you're on a crop camera, that's still gonna be okay for vlogging. So this is a great lens for vlogging too. And the other big thing about this lens is it has OSS built into it. If you're not sure what that is. So the a6000, the camera I selected, doesn't have any form of IBIS built into it, but this has OSS built in. So this is gonna smooth out some of your shaky video if you're shooting handheld or if you're shooting photos and you're really, really shaky, this is gonna help you. So always get the kit lens. Now that package with the camera and all the things I talked about and the kit lens comes in at $598. Next up, the Sigma 30mm f1.4. The kit lens is obviously going to allow you to do a variety of different shots because it's a 16 to 50, so you've got quite a wide range of focal lengths. But it's not going to give you that cinematic look. Or if you're indoors and you need something that's got a little bit of a better aperture, you can stop down because it's quite dark. The Sigma 30mm f1.4 is going to allow you to do that. The depth of field is going to be really nice as well because it goes down to an f1.4. So your background separation, your depth of field, that blur in the background that everyone likes to get. You see how it's a little bit blurry in the background there? This is an f2.8. So you can get it even better with an f1.4. So that lens will allow you to get that nice cinematic look. It's a prime lens, which means that it's a fixed focal length, so it doesn't zoom in. So if you need to zoom in or zoom out a little bit, you just gotta move your 2 little legs and get closer or get further away. It's also an autofocus lens, and I did have this lens a little while back, and I actually shot a video on it, I think 2 years ago or something. I'll put that up there. I did have a few autofocus issues with the lens then, but since that, Sigma's done a really good job at updating the firmware on their lenses, and I've heard, and a lot of people have commented on that video now, that the autofocus on this lens is near perfect. So that's a good thing. That is a 30mm lens, so on a crop camera, it's gonna be close to about 45, which is a very natural view. We see close to around a 50, so a 45 is gonna be very close to what you see when you look at things. So it's just a natural look, and it's gonna look really nice when it comes to shooting any form of video. Photos as well, but we're talking mostly about video. In general, this is what I would consider to be the best starter prime lens that you can get. There is a 16mm out there from Sigma as well. It's a little bit more expensive, but I don't think you really need the 16 with the kit lens as well. The 30mm is gonna be more beneficial to you as someone just getting started. That lens comes in at $298. So as you can probably work out, that's the majority of the money spent already from the $1,000 that we're trying to get close to. However, there's a couple of other things that are just gonna give us that edge in our production value to make things look nicer and to make things sound nicer too. A tripod. Now you're obviously gonna need a tripod because if you wanna do any videos like this, or if you're shooting an event and you need a static shot, then you're gonna wanna have a tripod, something to keep that video stable, to keep things from moving around. The tripod that I've picked here has a three-way swivel head, so it's kind of like a ball head, just a cheaper version of it. So if you need to move it around at strange angles, or if you wanna have some movements and pan the camera a little bit, you can do that. If you wanna also flip it and go portrait mode for Instagram or whatever else you're doing, you can do that with this as well. The other nice thing about the tripod that I picked is it actually converts into a monopod. So I use a monopod at all events because it's just way more convenient. So this tripod will convert quickly into a monopod as well. So then if you want to just do run and gun style shooting, take out much less of a footprint with a monopod, you can just pick it up, move it around, and it's quick and easy. Instead of having a big tripod, you got to fold back down and all that stuff. So it converts to a monopod as well. So that comes in at $47.99. So the next thing we're going to talk about is audio. Now, the A6000 doesn't have a microphone input, meaning you can't plug anything into it to pick up the sound. So any audio you capture is just going to be from the onboard camera's microphone, which for ambient audio is going to be okay, but for anything that has voices in it, any talking segments, it's just not going to sound that great unless you have some form of other audio source. In this situation, because we don't have a mic input, the best other way you can record audio is with an audio recorder. So I've picked this little Sony one just here. The nice thing about this one is if you want to just record directly with the mics here and then sync that up in post, you can do that. This is going to be better sound than what your camera picks up. So you just talk into this and then in post you sync them up. It also has a microphone in and a headphone out. So if you want to plug a microphone into this and then listen live, you can do that too. I'll give you a pro tip as well when it comes to syncing audio. If you clap 3 times, as soon as you hit record on your camera and record on your audio recorder, so you go, when you go to edit, you just look at the waveforms of the audio of both and you can really quickly sync them up, and you can auto sync too, and that helps. Now let's say you're shooting an event and there's some audio that you really want to pick up. You could just record directly with this and then sync after the fact, but what I'd recommend instead is to get something you can plug into this and then plug into, let's say, a DJ soundboard. Something like this. So this is an RCA cable, RCA to 3.5mm, so you'd plug this directly in and then this would go into the DJ's board, and then that gives you a live clean audio source, which is going to sound really good for when you want to edit. So this mic recorder comes in at about $75. One step further, and for videos like this, you're going to want a mic, and I've picked you a nice cheap mic, and this is a mic that I still use. I'm recording audio with another one of it right there. It's just there. Let's just pop you back there. Stay there. So this is the Takstar SGC 598. I've been using these for a couple of years now, and they're great. For the amount of money that they cost, the audio it produces is honestly incredible. So this has a 3.5mm cable attached to it just there, and then you just plug this directly into your audio recorder, and then that is how you'd pick up your audio, and then again you just sync in post. This takes a little AA battery, has a little on-off switch, some other things you can play around with as well, and it's just an all-round great mic for the amount of money that it costs. Comes in at $22.99. And as I said, I'm using the mic right now, so if you like the sound, you'll like this mic. And finally, a light. If you can, shoot next to a window. Natural light is gonna be really good. Angle yourself a little bit away and get a little bit of definition, kind of like I've got here. With natural light, you're always gonna have problems with sun. If the sun goes behind a cloud, your lighting's gonna change, your white balance is gonna change. And with a light, if you wanna shoot in a darker environment, you can do that. So this will allow you to shoot in your basement if you wanted to, or if you're shooting in a darker environment or outside, with a light, it'll allow you to do that too. This is actually very similar to the light that I've picked you guys. It just has bulbs inside here. They're big bulbs, and it comes with a soft box. The light is right here, and it just has switches on the back that turns it on and off. It comes with a light stand as well, so you have everything you need just to get you your lighting. Power's just from your regular plug-in. You don't need batteries or anything like that. The light actually has a 5500 Kelvin temperature, which is very close to daylight at 5600, so it's gonna get you similar to how daylight would look. The soft box that comes with that light is especially gonna be useful because it's just gonna soften out that light. It's not gonna be quite as harsh, and it's just gonna make your image look much nicer. For the amount of money that it costs, that is a light you cannot go wrong with. I mean, lighting is an entire video in itself, but basically pop that light off to the side. You only need the one, get a little bit of definition, and you're good to go. That light comes in at $37.99. So that is everything you're gonna need. And at the time of shooting this video, I know Amazon does like to change their costs on things quite regularly, but at the time of shooting this video, we're at $1,092.92. If you don't believe me, there you go, $1,095.92. So that is everything you're gonna need to get you started in the world of video. That's as close as I could get to $1,000 for everything you're gonna need. You could change to a cheaper tripod if you want and not have the monopod. That might save you like $20. But honestly, all that stuff, very well reviewed on Amazon. You can look at all the reviews. Very, very well reviewed. I've used a lot of it before. I own some of that still. And it's just a great kit to get you started in video. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more money, let's say you got 300 US more, you could opt for the Sony a6100. So that just came out. I don't think it comes out till actually October, but it just got announced. And that'll give you 4K video, 120 frames per second, slow motion if you need even more slower for even better B-roll or whatever else it is that you're shooting. It also comes with Sony's latest autofocus system, and I believe it has a mic jack as well. So there's that there too. It's more money. It brings us way above that 1,000. I think it's 300 US more for that camera if you wanted to go that option. So if you're looking to get started in video, this is everything that you might potentially want to get. It's a great starter person's kit. I'll put all the links down below in the description there if you want to pick any of this up. Just thought it was a great video to make. Appreciate the person who actually gave me this idea. It was a comment from one of my last videos. I tried to find it and then I was gonna put you on the screen here, but I really couldn't find that comment. It got buried in the hundreds of comments on the last video I posted, which you guys loved. Apparently like lens videos. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. Appreciate you watching today. I'll see you in the next one.